Are EVs putting a plaster on a very deep wound that actually needs stitches? Today's technology is the fastest it's ever been. It will never ever be this slow again. So I want to dive into the EV market. We're going to process what the internal combustion engine is like running. Is it limited? How much oil do we have left? How much natural resource do we have to produce the batteries that run the electric vehicles? And where does that resource come from? And most importantly, you'll be surprised to hear who actually controls that resource. I'm very excited about this one. It's auto industry related, so it's right up our alley. I hope we give you value. I hope we shake your belief and what you've been brainwashed over the last couple of months to believe, where the world is going, and give you a perspective that says, whoa, let's think about this clearly. Next to me, as always, Annemarie Meyer. Welcome.
Thank you so much.
Let's get into the current climate. So 10 years ago, in 2012, 2013, there were 55 EVs sold worldwide. Okay. Last year, there were 7 million sold worldwide. So I mean, the demand is growing. The demand is definitely there. Now, before we get into good, bad, and ugly of an EV, I want to go back to the ICE, the internal combustion engine. Now, it is said that there's 1.7 trillion barrels of oil left. That's it.
And then we're done.
Then we're done. According to data. Now, is that number being made public so that it can create scarcity and then drive prices up? We don't know. But according to data, 1.7 trillion barrels, that's it. Now, in 2019, our barrel consumption was 28.4 billion. Now, in 2019, it was the highest ever recorded consumption of oil, 28.4 billion barrels, meaning that if the 1.7 trillion is true, 60 years from today, no more oil. Okay, so now it all looks like EVs are the way to go. America, the government has said by 2035, according to USA, no more internal combustion engine cars may be sold. All right, I want to get into the good of an EV. Software update on their own, very little maintenance. You still have to do brake pads, but they last a long time. You still have to do tires and that sort of stuff. If you go and measure the actual cost on 2 exact vehicles, that is an internal combustion engine, petrol engine, versus an electric vehicle, it's exactly 30% running cost. Okay? Most countries on the planet give you some sort of a rebate on the back end, 20%, 15 to 20%, but the upfront cost is about 15 to 20% more on a same type of vehicle. So electric this, petrol this, exactly the same car. You get a rebate 15%, but 15% more to buy. Okay, the bad. Road trips are difficult. So charging stations are few and far apart. I heard
especially in South Africa.
Especially in South Africa. There's a friend of mine that bought a very high-end electric vehicle recently. 3 million rand car. Can't go to Petersburg and come back. Okay. Goes to Petersburg, he can't come back. Now he's got range anxiety. I don't know what the right word is, but he's nervous. He's like, shit, I paid, this car costs as much as a very luxurious house, but I can't get back. So we still need to figure that out. But let's get into the actual manufacturing of the battery. Are you ready for this?
Yes, that's the scary part, because those batteries last 8 to 10 years.
That's it.
That's it. So my question, obviously, what is going to be the running cost on replacing a battery? And then secondly, the way it's been made. What is the recycle?
So let's get into it. So 60 tons of lithium, okay, requires 30 million tons of earth to be moved. So to generate 60 tons of lithium, 30 million tons of earth need to be moved and dug up, which means every single day, 75 tractor trailers must be shifting earth, which run on petrol diesel engines? What about the excavators? What about the yellow metal machines? What about the cars, buses, trains that need to transport those people to those mines? Okay, let's get into the cobalt. So remember we said 1.7 trillion barrels of oil that are left. So cobalt is very limited. There is an estimated 7.6 million tons on planet Earth. That's it.
Okay, so then we're done making vehicles or the new strategy or something else.
So perhaps let's get into the really scary part. I'm going to scare you now. 3.5 million, so 50% is in the DRC, where there's been recent reports of child labor. It's a mess.
Yes,
Okay.
not enough safety gear for them to work with.
It's a mess. But because of the demand is so high, the supply needs to be there. So we just put everybody to work to extract. Now, here's the scary part. DRC has 19 cobalt mines, 19. 15 of them are Chinese owned. So 20 years ago, China made a big investment into the DRC. They thought cobalt might be something in the future. They took a bet, they took a gamble, boom, they bought the land, they've got the rights. 15 out of 19 are owned by China. My question is this: how is the world not thinking about it? Are we potentially going to get ourselves snookered into a monopoly where Chinese government can say, from today, this is the price. From today, these are the cars that we're going to build exclusively within China and export at a price? Is it going to become a monopoly? What do you think about that?
No, definitely. I can't see any other way out of this, especially if the resources are limited. It's not a tree that I can just replant. It's limited. So they've just got us by, well, the whole world by the short and curly, unfortunately. I can't see it any other way.
So let's get into the recycling part.
That part is the scary part. So for me, I understand where you come from.
It's also limited resource.
But this is also, and for me, it's the environment. So what are they going to do with those batteries?
Yes, how do we recycle them? So they all have to be ground into powder. And there's a very technical chemical process. For a single metric ton, you have to use 500,000 gallons of water, which is evaporated, to recycle that. It's a very technical process. It has to be ground up. It has to be in almost a powder type of form, very high heat, separation of the metals or different types of baths that the chemicals need to go into. It's not profitable. And at the end of the day, big business is only looking at bottom line. Is it profitable to recycle these? If the answer is no, what's going to happen to them in your opinion? They're going to end up somewhere dumped on a dumping site, causing havoc.
That is the scary part to me, because that's exactly what's going to happen. And I think we all know it, because that is the moment we put people in a corner, they start just disposing of them on illegal ways.
Yes.
And that's a concern to me. But is there maybe a flip side where this can be repurposed for solar energy or any other purposes? And that is my question. I would love to know, can this, rather than recycle, repurpose these batteries? And that would be interesting.
So I want to read a piece of an article that comes from the Daily Mail in America. And this is fact check. It is 100% correct. Because what we're solving for is the reduction of the climate warming. So that's what we are going electric, so that we can reduce the amount of heat we exert. Okay. The International Energy Agency, it's IEA, estimates that if every nation achieves the ambitious targets on increasing electric car ownership, it will reduce CO2 emissions in this decade that we currently live in, okay, by 235 million tons, which means it will reduce the temperature on the earth by 0.001 degrees. 0.001 degrees. each and every country achieves the ambitious target in this decade. Now, is it worth it? Let me ask you a different question. 50% of all European cars currently are diesel cars. We know what's happening there. They want to get them the hell out of their country because of emission taxes and the pollution that it's created. So are we going to replace one drug with a different drug?
But that's what we're doing.
0.0001 degree reduction in our climate. Perhaps you have a different opinion, or perhaps you want to add some value that I've potentially missed out with some data. If you do, please leave us a comment as well as the like button. And
And please subscribe to our channel and ring the bell.
take care and have a good day. Bye-bye.